What is up, everybody? Monday, yeah, it's a Monday show. All these days just blend in nowadays. What a weekend in the NFL. Say what a weekend, like all the games were exciting or something. It wasn't necessarily the case, but I think a lot of cheese was made. BigT, Hoop, you guys on the Morningwood show, everything you guys said pretty much. Better quarterback, take Brady over Hurts. That was an easy winner. The 49ers against the Cowboys, they came in as an underdog, and obviously everyone knew Mahomes against Big Ben, how that would go. But I think I saw Big T post screenshots. You were on the right side of a lot of stuff. I think a lot of people were on the right side of betting games. So while they weren't the most entertaining, I think there was money to be made. Tonight's game should be pretty interesting, I think. But we got NBA. It's MLK Day, so the slate's all messed up. We've had early games going. We have afternoon slates. FanDuel and Yahoo lock at 6 p.m. Eastern today. They have a 6-game slate. They're including the Bucks and Hawks at 6 p.m. Eastern. DraftKings took a different approach. They're locking an hour later, 7 p.m. Eastern, and they have 5 games. So we're going to get the show done. We're going to be out of here about 5:45 Eastern, so you guys can all set your FanDuel lineups, your Yahoo lineups, and then DraftKings will be later. Hoop's got the cash chart for FanDuel. All the core plays and everything will be up. So just want to remind you guys that if you're playing multiple sites. Bring in my two boys, Hoop, Mangone, two boys that had some pretty big wins over the weekend. We'll get to that, but two guys that are riding hot for sure. Hoop, I'll go to you. How was your Monday? How was your weekend? If you have any insight or predictions for this game tonight, I know you've been following the Rams a lot this year. Talk about tonight's game if you have anything.
It was a wild weekend. We had all the sports. The playoffs going, NBA going, MMA going, PGA going. It was just a wild weekend with just nonstop action. And honestly, today my brain just feels like a little bit fried, to be honest with you. So I kind of took it easy. I didn't really play these early NBA slates. I'm gonna dive in hard for NFL tonight. I had the big win in PGA this week. The PGA content, the team overall was just, we were all over it. Some big wins for sure. Some great calls there. The sports bet, I don't think I lost a sports bet all weekend besides your MMA pick. Everything else in NFL, the NFL, you can see the clear separation. And I know, a lot of people, it was very clear these 7 seed teams had no business being in there. We all kind of knew that. And you saw the Steelers just get absolutely spanked. And then you see the Eagles just, no chance. Drawing completely dead in both those teams, drawing completely dead. I like getting more teams in, but man, it was a clear divide where these seven seed teams had to go on the road and play, the second best teams in these conferences based on record. Just a complete mismatch. And the NFL, it's a quarterback league. All the big name quarterbacks got it done. This next round is going to be very, very interesting in terms of tonight. Honestly, I could see this game going either way. I'm not betting it. I wouldn't be shocked. I've seen Matthew Stafford for 15 years. I know what this guy does in big games. Hasn't played in many big games because he's in Detroit for long. If he does not make big mistakes, I think the Rams roll tonight. I think they win. But he's the big wild card because I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and just lays a stinker because, like I said, I've seen it so many times over the years. Any team that has over a 500 record when he was with Detroit, that he just gets smoked by him. So I don't think the Cardinals are very good, but Matthew Stafford, to me, it's a big wild card tonight in regards to how he plays, but it's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. Obviously looking forward to the games next weekend too. It was a great weekend and looking forward to kind of getting back into it here tonight.
Yeah, I think this personally is the toughest game. I thought so last week, the toughest game that can go both ways. I think both teams are a little overrated, to be honest. I was hoping the Packers would get one of these two teams and the Dallas could have taken care of business because, man, you don't want to see San Fran right now. That's going to be a good game in Lambeau. I love all the games next week. The teams that should have got it done, obviously the Cowboys are favored and stuff like that, but the teams that should have got it done mainly got it done, and next week's going to be good. Today, like you were talking about, we have a milli maker for Showdown, so all the content's going to be up there. You got NBA, though. You said you weren't in the streets as much. Man, you must have missed it. Miles Bridges had a career day. I don't know if he got to 70. Last I checked, he had 66 DK points. LaMelo was ruled out, then in, but it was a crazy early slate for sure. Saw some screenshots in the chat. Go to you, Mangone. How was your weekend? You absolutely crushed NBA on Friday, riding a good heater. How was the NFL weekend? If you have any predictions for tonight, let the people know.
Yeah, I mean, the national championship was good. And then Hoop, you said it was a long weekend. I was talking to one of my buddies, he plays DFS, and I said, man, like, it was just, it wasn't like an amazing DFS weekend. He was like, you did great on Friday. What are you talking about? I was like, that feels like a week ago. Like, I mean, Friday.
It really does. Yeah, that's true.
It feels very long ago. I mean, Hoop, remember like the PGA lock on Thursday? That feels like forever ago right now, which of course we'll have PGA content for you this week. I already saw some great contests. I hadn't played as much in the fall, and I was reminded, man, once NFL ends, we're going to get some really good prize pools back in the PGA streets, which will be super fun. And be sure to check out all that content over at Rum Beer Sports. We got some of the best stuff going on over there. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. Overall, it was pretty good betting wise, worked out really well. Tonight's game is tough, man. This is like Hoop's moment. Hoop has like been leading up to this all year. He's been like, I think Goff is not the difference between Stafford. This is his moment here.
Well, and it's crazy because all my long-term NFL bets are on the Rams. So like I'm so financially incentivized to root for the Rams tonight because I placed a lot of Rams futures. I have them winning the conference, winning the Super Bowl. So like, I don't feel great about it. So I guess I kind of have to root for the Rams, but I don't even know if I am. So I'm confused.
Well, one thing you get to do tonight, Hoop, and this is my request. I have one request from you tonight. Watch the game with volume because you're stuck with the Manning broadcast. I think they are the only guys. I think that was they were just going to make them and them only, or maybe not, but do your best to record that one. Listen to, because it's a good playoff game. You're pretty invested. Maybe you'll even be watching more live just because of how invested you are in this game. Who knows? But it should be a fun one. I'm sure all the content will be up soon if it's not already up. We had a nice show for it. And I'm leaning the Rams get it done, but I'm definitely more so a little nervous. And I think the way the Cardinals get the job done is they just kind of like let maybe Stafford make some mistakes and just not win the game. And they just kind of grind the clock out. And you would say last year, if I told you the Cardinals were in the playoffs, you would assume it was just like Kyler flying around all over the place. Yeah. It's like, that's just not their MO. And I think what they might do is try and keep that Rams team off the field and just kind of pound the rock and do what they've been doing. So it's going to be a really interesting slate. And
he's pretty overrated. I mean, Kyler, he's been, I'd say relatively, he's not been good. Like he definitely has not been good. He needs to get back. If they want to win, he just has to get back to the running, just running it as much as possible. Like, I don't think they have much of a chance if he doesn't run a lot.
I think the one thing they should have done was they should have just like, you don't want him to get hurt throughout the season, right? So you pick your spots when you kind of do it. You also have to create that identity with your team and do it as well. And probably without Hopkins, that's hurt the situation a bit, but I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe it's the coach that's holding him back. I mean, people have said Cliff Kingsbury is a great coach, and people have also said he's a donkey. But a lot of these guys make a ton of mistakes. So I'm not sure. It could just
not to cut you up, but the one sad takeaway, I think, from the weekend was for sure the officiating, just embarrassing officiating on behalf of the NFL. And then the coaching. I mean, some of these coaches are just like McCarthy, we talked about a little bit, just a complete moron title. You've been tilting this guy for, 5 years since his time in Green Bay. But whoever we were talking about a pre-show, and it's just like this brotherhood within the NFL where these guys are going to keep continuing to get chances. And like McCarthy has no business coaching in the NFL. Other just really poor decisions all week, and then the officiating was a disaster in some of these games.
The good news is they cut that officiating crew, which like good for them for like coming out and like taking an L on it. Like that's I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a crazy week. Refs, Mike McCarthy. I've been tilting that guy for probably 10 years now. Now it's a fun tilt because I can just laugh. It's not my team that he's screwing over. But
did you guys see what the Nickelodeon stream did with him?
No, I heard
they slide him or something.
They put a bunch of like graphics over him looking like a clown and stuff. And it put slime on him. It was really funny. I didn't see it live. I just saw like on Twitter, but apparently like Nickelodeon was like throwing graphics all day long on stuff and having a good time. So
yeah, you know you're doing something's not going well in a kid's show just for kids is chirping you and finding a way to do that. So tough scene for Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. But hey, next week will be fun. Big game tonight. Millie Maker, all this stuff will be up. Let's get into the members never win segment. As we talked about, I hinted at a little bit. Our boy Hoop, $100,000 in golf. The content was absolutely fire. You take 3 core plays on the cast chart. They were all in your GPPs. Tambo on the team. Snyder absolutely kills it. Uncle T, Coop, all the golf guys do a great job. I think I just play a little bit in golf. in tournaments, and I was up there. I only went 5 for 6 through the cup, and I think I finished like 8 in a $100 single entry or something. Of course, hoop was a couple spots higher, but very fun golf week, very good. Excited for the whole year with that. We got Mike J, 15,000 in golf as well. My favorite one on the list, AP's mom, $15,000 in NFL. Man, that is quite the story, quite the text for AP to receive. That is really cool stuff.
You want to hear just a real funny story about AP's mom real quick. So this will be a quick one. I think people will appreciate it. When we started Run Pure Sports, AP's mom's like, I want to, check out the website. She likes dabbling a little bit. She's like, I want to check out the website. So AP's like, all right, yeah, you can sign on and check it all. She's like, no. She's like, I want to buy a subscription. He's like, Mom, like, you don't have to like buy a subscription. You can just like, check it out, sign on. She absolutely like refused to take a free subscription. So Run Pure takes money from AP's mom, which is kind of ironic.
Wow, too nice. Taking my, but hey, the 15,000. She's definitely made some profit on that. What a nice mom. That is cool story. Very nice lady. I can only imagine $15,000. What a hit though for her. We got Gem C13, $20,000 in NFL. Slick Derulo, $15,000 in NBA. Keep crushing, man. It's Yuli, $30,000 in NBA. And our boy Travis, big boy Mangone, $59,000 in NBA on Friday. Nice stuff, Mangone. If you want to talk about that win a little bit, it was Friday. You didn't get a chance to victory lap, and 60,000 is definitely worth a victory lap. So you want to talk about that on Friday a little bit before we get into the games?
Yeah, I mean, I said to Hoop, what was this thing I said on Friday? We're going out, we're going to watch the Kings and Rockets.
Yeah.
That's the game of the night. Like, you put that game.
And Mangone said he was going to the local barn demanding that they turn on the Kings and Rockets. I said, good luck with that.
That's what you
do. Put the game on. Like, I want to watch Kings and Rockets. That's the game of the night. And it was fun. I think one of the simple things I did, and one thing I think I do a decent job of in DFS is like, I think in the past I've been someone that like purchase. I'm going to predict what happens, but like sometimes you just don't know. And like, is Jordan Poole and like I saw Otto Porter at the top, and I know they had big games, but like I was like, that's the chalk today, right? Like, it's just not the most amazing chalk. Some days it's great. I think you have to figure out when it's good chalk and bad chalk. I think that's really important. I think that's one thing that we're really good at identifying, the three of us for sure, because we play cash games for so long. I know we start to play a little bit more tournaments, but I think it's a very important thing to figure out in DFS. And of course, like you can do that with SaberSim, that can help you out as well. But I definitely had some Kings exposure, and I just thought that would be a really good game. It was just odd to me that a 240.5 total just wasn't getting as much ownership, it felt like. So kind of jumped on that. It was a good time, and hoping to get some more exposure to some good games going forward, and keep the heater going. I mean, the college football stuff was good, and keep things rolling. I'm excited for this slate a little bit too. I think there's a decent edge on this slate that we'll talk about as we dive into it.
The Friday show though, I mean, we got the trio back, me, you, JT Hayes. I mean, it brought all the right mojo, and we talked about it on the show. I said, this is what we need. I said, we need the three of us together. Yeah, it's a great show, and I believe we called the big hit on the show. We said someone shipping tonight. Little did we know it was Mangone.
We also the graphic, right? We threw the graphic up.
That was graphic, great. Yeah. The helmet got us the sweet Travis graphic with Mangone's face and a bunch of candy, and the
JT marshmallows were just
JT marshmallow.
There you go. Maybe helmet was the reason Mangone gets the big shipper.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the graphic. That was the debut of the new graphic. Man, wow. Okay.
Friday, like you said, Friday seems so long ago, but yeah, big
weekend.
It
does feel like forever ago.
Oh gosh, it really. I seriously, my brain's fried after the weekend. I mean, just with all the action, all the sports, and then all the bets and playoffs, and you think about it, we're running it right back next week, and all the same stuff. And the MMA is a pay-per-view, right? Pay-per-view card.
The good news is two game slate tomorrow to recover a bit in the NBA. It's a little weak, but hey, I'm okay with it. It's a good timing for it. And then title, I got some MMA tickets. I didn't do it on purpose, so I will be in those MMA streets though. We'll see how much I play and what I do, but I have a good idea of what I'm going to do, and who knows, maybe it'll hook me. I think I got a new strategy I'm going to try out.
How pure does Mangone run? Not even trying to get these tickets, but somehow they're just falling in his lap. Too pure Mangone. But yeah, it was a crazy weekend. I mean, I grinded all the Showdown contents. Of course, I do it to myself. If I'm going to play, I just want to play it all and do everything and all the sites. But it was fun. We got a couple more weeks of it. We got 4 games next week, 2 and 2 again. Should be a lot of fun. But that's enough NFL talk. We got 6 games on FanDuel and Yahoo, 5 games on DraftKings like we talked about. We'll get out of here in time for you to get your FanDuel and Yahoo lineups in. But let's start on the first game. Let's touch on the Milwaukee Bucks and the Hawks game. It's not on DraftKings. It's on FanDuel and Yahoo. Let's touch on that quick. The Bucks and the Hawks. It's a big boy total at 233. The Bucks are favored by 5.5. We'll just go through the FanDuel pricing. We go to the Bucks injury report. Drew Holiday still is out, which is obviously big news. You go to the Atlanta side. Clint Capella is still out. Bogdanović is still out. Hoop, I'll go to you. Just touch on the FanDuel pricing really quick. I think Giannis makes a lot of sense on FanDuel. They're without Drew. Giannis is always a good play. We have salary usually. I think Bobby Portis is the other one that stands out. Wouldn't mind to run back a Trey or something like that. Yeah. But just talk about what you see on the Bucks side and the Hawks for FanDuel.
Yeah, just real quick. Yeah, on the cash chart here. So yeah, Giannis is a phenomenal play, 11-3. Like I think if you're spending up, you go to him. Bobby Portis, especially in cash games, he's a lock at 6'3". Just play Bobby Portis and kind of move on. If for some reason you can't get up to Giannis, Middleton, I think is a fine option at 8'3". He's been very steady like lately. Sometimes he goes through ups and downs in terms of like his fantasy production, and it's up right now. I mean, over 40 fantasy points in 4 straight games at a 53 spot. Really like Middleton, and then Trae Young on the other side is probably the only Hawk guy that I'd consider. Maybe DeAndre Hunter at 4.4K. So yeah, obviously it's an appealing game, a 233 total. Bucks favored by 5.5. They're projected to score 120 points. You want some Bucks in your lineups tonight. Portis is the easiest way to do that. Giannis, it's easy to get him into, and then Middleton's a fine option. Trey, and probably just Hunter on the other side.
Perfect. Yeah. I won't even go to you, man. Hoop was looking at FanDuel on the cash chart. Bucks are good plays for sure. But again, that game just on FanDuel and Yahoo. Definitely don't ignore it, because if this was on the main slate in DraftKings, you definitely would have some interest on the Bucks side. So we're going to get into the 5 games. Do us a favor. Hit the like button for us, please. Hit the subscribe button. We got our boy Bean there. He took down the TOC at Run Pier. So he's in the 333 Wildcat this weekend. Shout out to you, Bean there. We got Nadesify, Sylvester Payne, VIP, Torrin Edwards, Juice Man, Noel Fan, Mr. Patrick Rice. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. King Mall said, what slate is that? That is FanDuel and Yahoo main slate. They have 6 games. DraftKings has 5 games. So we touched on that quick. But do us a favor, hit the like. Let's get into the games that are on all 3 slates. Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Portland Trailblazers, the Orlando Magic, 218 total. Portland is favored by 2.5. We go to the Magic side. Wendell Carter is out. That is it for them. Go to the Portland side. Obviously, Dame's still out for a while. Larry Nance is out. CJ McCollum is probable. He's supposed to return today, which is good news. He had a collapsed lung. He's been out for a while. Norman Powell is questionable. CJ Ellaby is doubtful. I'll just go right to you, man. Go and talk about this game. Do you have any interest on either side, or is it a stay away?
Yeah, I will admit, I knew CJ was coming back, but I didn't know what his price was. 8.5 is a lot. And also with him returning, that is going to obviously muddy up some of these situations. Hoop and I have talked about this a ton. I think, we do the shows like 4 days a week with each other. So it's like, we got to know when they get on and off situations. And at these price tags, I know it's only a 5-game slate, but it doesn't feel like a bad time to jump off. Simon's at 8K. I do think he could obviously go out there and have a decent game. But I do think there's opportunity for him to fail, and people just keep riding him out. It might be the time to get off. Same with Nurkic at that 8.1K. Could he have a good game with CJ McCollum there? Certainly. I don't think there's a chance that he absolutely busts, but I think there's other options I'd rather go to that I'm not going to spend my money over on Nurkic at this time. So I think that those Blazers are not my favorite guys to go to. If I did play any Blazers, it feels like it'll be like a max of 1 on my teams. Like if you were in SaberSim, I think setting that rule is not a bad idea. I think that the Orlando side is way better. I think there's a couple options that I like a ton. Cole Anthony at 7.3 is definitely going to be someone that you can look to go to. Jalen Suggs is there, but 4.8K, you don't have to worry about him there in that spot. Jalen is a guy that he is going to take up some usage, but I think at the current price tags, you don't have to worry about it too much. Then you got Franz Wagner. He's there, 5.7K. Yes, he can obviously get some usage stolen from some of those other options, but the ceiling is still there at 5.7K, and the matchup is Portland. I think he's definitely in the conversation, something that you want to look at. And then on this, this slate's not amazing. I know Hoop will probably make fun of me for it because I say that all these slates are great. This is not the greatest slate in the world. Terrence Ross at this price tag of 4.7, the ceiling is there. It's just, are the shots falling? And if there's a team that the shots can fall, it is against Portland. So don't hate that option. And then one more guy, obviously, to talk about, because I think Orlando is one of the better teams on this slate. No Wendell Carter should help Mo Bamba a bit. It's just the question is, what are the minutes going to be? And the upside is there at 5'6". I mean, there are guys at 5'6" that they don't really have a ceiling, but Mo Bamba, he still has a ceiling at this price tag. He could hit 50 fantasy points, certainly in this game. So there's a lot to like on the Orlando side. It does feel like a good night to get it. One Orlando, even maybe two in your lineups. I don't hate, and people might be uncomfortable doing that, but I do think that these Orlando guys against Portland are a really good spot to target here.
Yep, definitely makes sense. As far as Mo Bamba, we always talk about center, like the center position, how loaded it always is. And DraftKings made a switch. They put LeBron at center only now. So now center's even going to be more mucky as we go on. But yeah, Mo Bamba, no one's going to play him down there. My two favorite, I would say, is Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner. 7'3", 5'7". We know they have upside. Nurkic has been really good at 8'1". But yeah, with McCollum back, I mean, there's a lot of shots to go around, or a lot of shots that we're going to these guys now McCollum's going to take in the usage. So I'm probably going to take more of a wait and see approach to see how Portland reacts to CJ in the next couple of games. I don't think we have to jam any in personally, because they did do a good job with this price. But Hoop, I'll go to you. I think the Orlando side's a little more interesting. Talk about your favorite plays. And are you going to play anyone on Portland?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with what you guys said. It's a situation we've been talking about a ton, where teams are playing super thin for a couple weeks and the guys have been productive and now the prices are up, but then they get these guys back and the prices are still up. Can you justify paying the tags? And on Anthony Simons, he's been phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. But you're introducing another high usage guy into the lineup in CJ McCollum. And in order to play Simons, you have to pay the full Monty price tag, where he's almost 8K now. A lot of risk there. I'll be off it. Hope people get on him. I mean, these are just classic situations in DFS to kind of avoid. Nurkic, I think, still can be fine. I mean, I definitely prefer Nurkic over Simons if deciding between one of those two guys. But overall, it's the situation that we like to avoid in DFS. A team playing shorthanded for a while, 2 weeks or so. All these guys are productive. The prices rise. Well, now these guys start to come back, the high usage guys, and the prices are still up there. We can, kind of avoid it. So that's what I'll be looking to do tonight. And then on the Magic side, it's the guys that you mentioned, Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner. Fine plays, not building blocks. If you're doing 150, I'd get some exposure to them. Not core plays or anything, but fine options tonight.
Yep, I agree. So Mangon, I saw you reply to Craig. He said, I don't think you can set a max one rule in SaberSim yet. They need to work on that. The way to do that is after you run all your builds, if you go to like team stacks, it'll show like 5-man, 4-man, 3-man, 2-man with all the teams. You would just, if you want like max one of Portland, you'd have to just click 5, go through all of them and make sure like it doesn't say you have any percent of lineups with Portland 5-men. Portland 4-men, Portland 3-men, Portland 2-men, etc. So they don't have a rule like that. I know SaberSim has been taking, people have been recommending things. They're working on a lot of things behind the scenes. That's something that maybe they will have. Hopefully they do. But another way to do that, on the second step, you click team stacks, I believe it is. Then you can go through all of them, 5, 4, 3, 2. And if you don't want more than one Portland in your lineup, you just make sure that it's 0 and you set a max exposure at 0 for those 2-man, 3-man, 4-man stacks, etc.
Yeah, there's creative ways to do it, Title. Like in NFL, if you're doing Showdown tonight, let's say you think the Cardinals win, they absolutely destroy, and then the Rams are terrible. You can do a 5-1 onslaught. You just set that where you want a certain percentage as 5-1. Yep, if you're doing 10 teams, let's say you want 3 of them. There are ways to kind of finagle the system a bit. So you just kind of have to work with it. And I know it's not like the best suggestion, but sometimes just after lock, mess with stuff to learn stuff. I think people think, it's after lock. You can learn a lot just messing with it after lock or even before. Just use the first set of projections. I know it's not perfect, but you can use it as a learning experience to get better for future slates, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was just that's how I do it. There's a lot you just have to know. There's a lot of different ways. Every optimizer works different. Craig said that worked for him, so that should work. But yeah, there's a lot of really good features that I don't even know yet. I'm learning with it all the time, but glad that helped you out, Craig. Let's get into the rule is no more than one. All right, so let's just get into
they're saying in advanced settings you can do it. In advanced settings, maybe you can do it. I know in NFL, there were ways I got around it, but again, just mess with it. try to learn, figure it out, or ask maybe in the chat if you know someone that actually has been using SaberSim longer than you. Maybe they'll have that answer. Send them a DM.
And they are working. They are working on like the rule stuff here that should be coming out, I think, relatively soon, which would alleviate these sort of issues. The ways to do it now, it's more of a workaround, but in the very near future, it should be an option, like right on that main screen when you start before you build your teams.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really, I think it's the best optimizer. I absolutely love it. That's the one knock that it'd be easy if you could do that. There's ways around it. Use the way I round it right now, but that's very good news to hear. Let's get into the next game on the slate, though. The Toronto Raptors, the Miami Heat, very low total, lowest on the slate, 207.5. Miami is favored by 3. Go to the injury report on Toronto. Khem Birch is out. Gary Trent is out. We're not waiting on much injury news, so Gary Trent news is actually one of the biggest on the slate. The biggest on the slate is Bam Adebayo, is now questionable and could return today. Kyle Lowry's out, Akpella out, Markieff Morris is still out. The big news of Bam, if he comes back, Hoop was talking a little pre-show, but Yurt7 would take a big hit. He wouldn't really be in play as much anymore. He played really well. Every time I played him, I feel like he got there for me. And Hoop, I know you're not the biggest Bam guy, even though he has made improvements from last year to this year, I think, when he's healthy. But Bam, questionable, could play. It's a 207 total. It's supposed to be close. Both these teams play some defense. Like, I don't know, Jimmy Butler at 8-9, I never have any really problems with. People are playing the Raptors, 9-2 Siakam, 9-3 Fred VanVleet. We know the rotation's good, but the prices are up there. I'll go to you, Hoop. Nothing's standing out too much. I think the studs you can make a case for, low owned GPP, but what do you see?
Yeah, it's a tough game. It's one of those games that I'd probably just rather watch for entertainment purposes than get super invested in. Like, I could see it going either way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors won. Wouldn't be surprised if the Heat won. No strong lean there. DFS wise, it's not the sexiest game on the Raptors side. Like, if Trent's out, like Scotty Barnes, maybe OG. I mean, these guys all play a lot of minutes. The prices did finally come down a little bit on like Siakam and Fred VanVleet, but it's just not the greatest spot against a Heat team that actually, prides themselves on playing defense. So nothing to be super excited about. On the Heat side, Jimmy Butler at 8-9, I'd be fine with. You got Bam back. I don't think that matters all that much for Jimmy or even the team. I mean, Yurt7 and Bam are basically like the same player. I said that the other day, and I stand by that. Like, Bam is super overrated. Yurt7 basically did the exact same thing Bam did for 2 weeks when he was out, 3 weeks, or however long he's been out. Yurt7's been just as productive as him. So the swap to Bam doesn't really change all that much. Be Jimmy Butler for me on the Miami side. Not much on the Toronto side. Like I said, maybe Barnes if Gary Trent's out. If Trent's in, he's 5K on FanDuel. Okay option, not a building block or anything. Just not a very great DFS game overall here.
Yeah, I'm with you. The last game we didn't show too much interest in, but I think there were a little better pieces in that game than there is this game. And then I'll go to you. Mr. Patrick Rice in chat. Yeah, you just responded to him, so you saw it.
I know, Hoop. I know why he's not playing Bam, because it's a Precious Achiuwa revenge game, Hoop. I know that's why you're scared of it, obviously, right?
Fearing it. Big, so fearful of it.
Oh man. So
any interest in? I mean, like, this game's like not great. Like, Precious, he's only center eligible. He's 3-9. Like, probably not getting there. But like, do you see anything in this game? Because it's got to be the worst game on the slate, personally.
Definitely feels like the worst game on the slate. I don't hate OG. I think like his minutes could be decent enough at the price where you could get away with it. And even Scotty Barnes, like, I feel similar, but not guys I'm starting my lineups. Maybe last guy's in, and I'm kind of definitely holding my nose when I'm putting them into my lineups right now. And I don't think I'm gonna have much of them. Fred VanVleet, I've been riding that train, but man, this feels like a time I might get off. I know the studs at the top. It's not my favorite up there, but I don't love this game, man. I think it's a game I'm just going to stay away from in full on fade. And I just don't think at the end of the night, it's going to hurt me. I think at the end of the night, if there's Heat and Raptors on the winning team, I think for the most part, I'm okay with it. If one of these guys happens to slide into a team that I absolutely love as a last piece, maybe I'll end up doing it, but I'll also look before and be like, okay, is there anyone else I can get in instead? Because I don't love this game. I think it's one of the worst ones on the slate for sure.
Yeah, 3 for 3. I would say my favorite would be Jimmy Butler. He's a good basketball player. He showed upside. Not too many people are going to play him below 9K. So if I played anyone, it would be him, but I'm with you. Fading it is probably a pretty good idea is how I put it. Mangone, I'll go right back to you though. Phoenix Suns, San Antonio Spurs, 227.5 total. Phoenix is favored by 3.5. On the Phoenix side, Ayton's out, Frank the Tank's out, Nader's out, Cam Johnson is probable. You go to the Spurs side, Trey Jones is out. You didn't have interest in this last game. Do you have interest in this game? And if so, who do you got?
Yeah, this game. Which one is it? The Jazz? We're on the
Phoenix.
Spurs?
Yep, Phoenix Spurs.
Okay, I was hoping you weren't talking about the OKC Thunder game because I don't want to talk about that one.
No,
I like this one a lot more. This one's not bad. Obviously, the big news: JaVale McGee. He's going to be someone that you're slamming in your lineups. He feels like very good chalk. There is a really good pivot off him though. Jalen Smith could easily get a lot of run. You could also see JaVale McGee get into a bit of foul trouble, and if that's the case. Also, Jalen Smith is power forward eligible instead of just center, so that could matter for your lineups a bit. So I don't hate Jalen Smith as a pivot off of JaVale McGee if you want to take a shot in tournaments. It's not the worst idea. I think JaVale McGee is the best value, though, on the slate, like no doubt. It's just, what do you want to do with him? Do you want to play him and you want to get different in another spot? Jay Crowder is an okay option at 4.8. Chris Paul, I prefer more than Devin Booker at that 7.7K versus the 8.4K price tag. But if that shooting guard position matters a bit, I could make the argument, plug in Devin Booker, especially if like the salary does not matter, that $800 difference. So I think that could come into play. We have been playing a lot of DeJounte Murray, it feels like lately. We've definitely been more interested in him. At 10K, I know it's not an amazing slate, but I struggle a bit with Chris Paul there. And I wonder if others struggle and then Murray just ends up being under-owned a bit. I know that this game will play a bit faster. This game has been playing fast. Not this game. Both these teams have. I think the Spurs are like 4th over the last 3 weeks. And then Suns are about 6th. So I think this game could have some sneaky shootout potential where you could stack it up a bit. But I just don't know what to do with all these options. I think McGee's a great play. I think Paul and Booker are decent spend ups. And then Murray is the one I can't figure out what to do with. In the mid tier, I don't mind a Podol at center, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get to a Podol today at the center position. And the reason why is, well, McGee's a great play. And so is LeBron. And those guys feel like they kind of can go hand in hand in a lot of lineups because you get a value play, you get a stud on a kind of gross slate. And what are they? They're both center eligible. So there's no Jakob Podol in my life. It's tough. But I think Podol is going to be a sneaky guy that could go really overlooked on this slate and have a pretty decent game. I mean, we have seen him get 40 fantasy points and at 6.6K, I think the upside is there in this spot. So I don't know, maybe you guys can talk about it. It is tough though. One of the biggest conversations to have on this slate, I think, is that center position and how to handle it. Cause it feels like everyone is just going to slam in McGee, slam in LeBron, and every other center is just going to naturally go under own.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking. Like you mentioned Mo Bamba, I don't like him too much. Like, Jakob Poeltl, like any center not named LeBron and JaVale McGee are going to be way lower owned than they would on a normal slate just because of the center position for sure. Some people in chat are talking like JaVale could only play 20 minutes tonight, one shot. I mean, JaVale only needs 20 minutes more than likely, and you'd be happy. But we've seen him fail plenty of times. He's back down to 3.7 on DraftKings. He's more expensive on FanDuel, but I mean, he was a 5K player for a little bit, and he has upside.
Title. The key is it's if he fails, what happens? I mean, Jalen Smith probably has a good game, right? So like, you also don't have to be like, okay, if he fails, then I played this other center and this other center fails. If JaVale McGee fails, gets into foul trouble, let's say he does struggle at times or something, who knows? At the crazy ownership that he's going to have on a bad 5-game slate where there are no value plays that you are in love with, and he's going to probably come in at 90% owned or more, maybe in tournaments, which is certainly possible. Who does well? Jalen Smith does. And you can throw him in at center if you'd like. You can also throw him in at power forward. And hey, you could play both if you really wanted. Put one at power forward, one at center. Value's not great today. It's really kind of rough besides JaVale McGee.
I'm just going to ask you that question. So you answered. Hunter Kinsey asked if you could play both McGee and Smith, or is that crazy? You just answered it, man. Go and said you can play in both power forward and center. So there's your answer to that. Hoop, I'll go to you. Last game wasn't a lot of fun. This game is pretty good. Big total, close spread, two decent teams. DeJounte's absolutely been smashing. There's D-Book, Chris Paul, JaVale. Talk about this game. I think it's good.
Yeah, kind of like the premier DFS game of the slate, I'd say. We got a close to 230 total, relatively close spread. We have Ayton out, which obviously opens up the door for JaVale McGee as a value play, clearly probably the best value play on this slate. And then Paul and Booker get a little bit of a boost. Prefer Booker over Paul, but both definitely in play. Won a lot of them today. Crowder's in play. Mikal Bridges, I think he's only like 4.5K on FanDuel. Like definitely in play there. I'm fine even on DraftKings. You know, he shoots a lot of threes, which is nice on DraftKings. Get the half-point bonus. I like the Jalen Smith call. Good spot here for the Suns. And then on the Spurs side, we have plays. DeJounte Murray, I think, is definitely a really strong play. We talk about all the time. You know, 10K DeJounte Murray, like, got to get used to it. Like, he deserves to be here. I mean, he continues to put up monster games. Keldon Johnson, I think, is a fine option tonight. Probably plays about 30 minutes. If this game stays close, he can contribute in a variety of ways for fantasy purposes. Pirtle as well. Kind of tough, though, like Mangone said. Center, we have a lot of good centers, and they've moved LeBron to just center for some dumb reason because it's like the first game where he's actually not going to probably play center because they're facing Gobert. But Pirtle, I think, is in the conversation. Just such a safe fantasy option. We say it every day that the Spurs are on the slate. You know he's going to play probably between 28 and 35 minutes, and he typically gets anywhere upper 20s to like 40 fantasy points. Just a very safe option. So yeah, this is a really good game for fantasy purposes. You definitely want Suns though in your lineups. Like this is the team where you want some exposure to, I think, in all your lineups, whether you're building one lineup or 150, you want some Suns tonight.
Yep, I definitely agree. And yeah, we're starting to get news on the slate. Robin Lopez is starting over Mo Bamba. He's 4K on DraftKings. Center's absolutely loaded, but yeah, now I definitely wouldn't play Mo Bamba. Norman Powell ruled out, CJ Alby out, who was doubtful. So news is starting to come in a little bit. We're not waiting on a ton of news, but Robin Lopez starting, didn't expect that. Hit the like button, 365, 117 watching. Hit the like button for us, please. Let's get to 200. That should be really easy. We got 2 games left. 200 is not a lot to ask for sure. Someone's asking in chat about Bismack Biyombo. I would not play Bismack Biyombo today on this slate. So not even in GPPs, Dwayne. Better setter options, I think. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, 117 likes. Let's get into the next game though. 2 games left. I think we've made it pretty clear so far. Portland Magic games, okay, not the best. Heat Raptors isn't very good. Phoenix Spurs is a game that you're going to have to play though. We'll see about this game. OKC, Dallas Mavericks, 210 total. Dallas is favored by 11.5. Go to the injury report. Kenrich Williams is out for OKC. Reggie Bullock is questionable for Dallas. Teams are getting really healthy now. Just pretty nice to see. It's a lot different in DFS. I'll go to you, Hoop, because it didn't sound like Mangone had a lot of interest. I think Luka Doncic is a spend up. Definitely makes sense. There's Dorian Finney-Smith. We get Trey Mann, who's point guard and shooting guard eligible. He's mid-price at 3K. I don't love it, but I think if you're trying to go stars and scrubs, if you want LeBron, if you want Luka, if you want another Jimmy Butler, stuff like that, I think you can do worse for 3K since he's getting minutes. Talk about this game and your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely one that's not super appealing. I mean, the Mavericks are just a tough team for DFS. Yes, you can play Luka pretty much any slate that he's on if you want to. Do I think this is like the best spot to go ahead and spend on Luka? Probably not. Porzingis, I don't know, maybe like a fringe tournament type play. Not super excited about him. Just not a great fantasy team. Yeah, when Luka's out and Porzingis is out, we know we go to Jalen Brunson. You look at Tim Hardaway Jr., they're kind of at full strength here. So don't love the Maverick side, and you know, doesn't get much prettier when you go to the Thunder side. I mean, they're projected to score under 100 points tonight. It's not a great spot for them here on the road against Dallas. 12-point underdogs. Trey Mann, if you want to go, like, if you want to play 2 of these studs, yeah, sure. He's been playing, about 20, 25 minutes? Yeah, he's been over 22 minutes in 3 straight games. So, yeah, I don't hate that in stars and scrubs type lineups. SGA at 8.2K. Probably gets around 40 fantasy points, and that could be good enough for this slate. So I'd be fine playing him, but just not a very appealing DFS game here whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not the best games on this 5-game slate. That's why the Spurs game is a lot of fun. And we have one left after this. Mangone, you didn't seem to have a lot of interest when you thought we were talking about this game. Now we are. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, not a game I'm in love with. Luka could be a differentiation stud. Like, I think people are all going LeBron. So, like, you could make an argument that Luka could blow up any game. Thunder are playing a little bit better basketball. So, if Luka gets the full run, sure, I don't mind it. I always do this. I start to look at the schedule and see like what's coming. And I don't know, they got a TNT game coming up on Thursday. They play on Wednesday. Like they play Toronto Wednesday. Like, of course they want to have him healthy for that TNT game. So I don't know. Jason Kidd is like a coach. Do I want to invest my dollars in Jason Kidd's rotation after I spent some money investing in the Dallas Cowboys offense with McCarthy ruining things? I don't know. It's definitely, it can be frustrating for sure. So that's just my issue. I think that you can see Dallas at their current price tags not get there more often than not. I also think you could see if the game does get ugly, those guys lose their rotations. If I did play a Luka, I'd probably want like an OKC run back or something. But other than that, I don't really want to touch this game too much. SGA has been playing a lot better basketball, so you can make an argument for him. The only problem is they got a lot of bigs on that Dallas team where SGA drives to the hoop a ton, and that can always be concerning with him driving to the hoop. Maybe it's going to be tougher for him to get those shots and get what he wants. So I'm just not interested in this game. I'm just rambling here, so I'm not going to play too much of it. If I do, I'm going to get a couple guys maybe together. That's how I'm going to kind of handle this game.
So if you ran Luka, who would be your favorite OKC run back? Would it just be SGA? No one's going to have the pairing. You hope that those two go back and forth, or
it might be Dort instead, just because the price is really good. Because you assume if Luka plays like, I don't know, 38 to 40 minutes, Dort probably plays a lot. I assume they're going to want to put Dort on him more than likely. So, and I like that. I don't mind doing that with Dort sometimes. Like I know Dort will get minutes if this happens. So that's something I've done for a pretty long time. But other than that, man, I'm not excited about this game. I way more like this game at 10:30 that it's on NBA TV. I don't have to request for this game to be on Hoop. We can get the national televised game on the TV and we're good to go. This is going to be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, we'll get into that next one. Last game on the slate. So what? We got about 400 watching, 150 likes. I was going to say 200, which still should be easy. I'll say 185 for the likes for the plays of the day. We have one game left, 185 likes. Shouldn't be hard at all. I know it's a busy Monday. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'm going to pull the plays of the day. That's just, I haven't had to do it yet. Someone came in and saved me once, but 185 likes should be easy. We got one game left. Last game on the night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Lakers. The OKC game starts at 8:30. So 2-hour window. The last game's an island game. Probably decent showdown stuff for it too. We'll have stuff up as we usually do for night showdowns. Utah Jazz, Lakers, 230.5 total, biggest total on the slate. Utah is favored by 4.5. We go to the injury report. Whiteside is doubtful. Mike Conley is questionable. Outside of that, though, they got all their guys back. On the Lakers side, AD's still out. Carmelo is questionable. LeBron at center, we've talked about it a lot. This is a different LeBron. He's probably not going to start at center, though. I'm expecting Dwight Howard to start at center, as we've seen in the past when they do play a big team that needs size. Gobert is back. Utah is one of those teams. LeBron goes to the 4, and they usually start Dwight at the 5. So that's what I'm expecting. He's just center eligible, though. There's Joe Ingles. Mike Conley's questionable, 6.1K. If he's out, I mean, Donovan Mitchell would have to handle the ball more. Joe Ingles would have to handle the ball more. I think they do get a little bump. Rudy Gobert is interesting. I don't think people play him too much because of the center position. 8.3K, I make some sense. I'll go to you, Hoop. It's definitely a good game. Actually, no, I'm going to go to Mangone first. He hasn't liked talking about too many of these games. He's excited for this one, Mangone. What are your thoughts on for this game?
Yeah, real quick, where do you I saw there's definitely conflicting reports. Where are you seeing Conley questionable? I've seen doubtful in spots, but I've also seen like a beat writer not with a check mark say that he's going to play today. What do you see?
I just saw it on the injury report that I always look at.
Oh, okay.
I'll look it up when you're talking.
I'm very curious because like I did see one beat writer, but he didn't have the verified check mark, but he is Jazz have some guys that aren't like really verified. So, but I am curious to see what happens with the comment.
If anyone in chat knows, let us know too.
Yeah, let me know where you found it too. Like if you feel confident in it.
Just on the Roto Grinders injury report page.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of different, there's conflicting reports for sure. I've seen it in every different location, but one beat writer did say he's going to play. And I think the reason why he's going to play is because they've had some days off. I think they've had like 3 days of rest, and they played that Denver game. They didn't play the full game because it was a blowout. So I believe Conley plays. Regardless, I like the Utah Jazz because on these really bad slates sometimes, I like teams that I know the minutes are just going to kind of be there. And I feel pretty confident in those minutes being there for these guys. I also think what's going to happen in this spot is Russell Westbrook, he gets owned by Rudy Gobert. I mean, he is not good against him for the most part. So what happens is Russ is not going to be effective. So because I know one guy is probably going to fail, I feel like LeBron is going to succeed. Now, if the game blows out, whatever, like LeBron loses his run, he does terrible, so be it. But the key here, I think, with this game is I think you could see interesting spots for a guy like Dwight Howard. But the problem is I don't love where his positionality is, right, at that center position. So I don't know if I can go there, but they are going to need his size. And I think you're going to see LeBron have a pretty decent game, but they need scoring. I mean, look at this team. Overall, they don't have guys that can get buckets, but they need Carmelo to shoot more. Maybe they need Malik Monk to shoot more. Right? I think one of those guys has kind of a really good game because they just have to shoot. We know how Utah is. It's hard to score on them inside. So what happens? Things get funneled to the outside. So I think one of those two guys could have a really, really good game tonight. Yes, their price tags feel steep, 5.9 and 5K, but I think they have the upside to get 40 fantasy points at no ownership on a 5-game slate. And on the opposite side, these Utah guys are really good options. I mean, Donovan Mitchell at 9K could certainly have a big game off of a guy like Devin Booker. If people are going to play Booker and not go up for Mitchell, I think Mitchell could have a massive game here in this spot. Royce O'Neal, I think, will be needed more defensively on LeBron James. So I think Royce O'Neal at 4.6 could definitely be an interesting option that gets more minutes. Whether the production will be there is the question. Rudy Gobert will not even be owned at all on this slate. If you want a center that's just unique, you could go to a Rudy Gobert, and no one is scared of this Lakers team. I mean, they're not good defensively. And one thing that's nice about this is the Lakers, they're third in pace, and the Jazz, they're like 13th in pace. And if Mike Conley happens to miss this game, let's say he does, I don't think he does. But if he does, they're worse defensively, Utah, and they play at a faster pace without him, where this game could be really intriguing. So I think this is a good one. You also got the Jordan Clarkson revenge game, which I'm sure Hoop is hyped up for. And I think he'd play the blowout run a little bit, that closeout time. So I don't know. I think there's a lot to like in this game. It's just tough because if one guy does well, like if a Jordan Clarkson does well, there's routes where Ingles probably fails, right? You have to be kind of careful with which guys you pair together within this game. But I think it's a good one that can go off.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of good points. There's guys on both sides. So yeah, so it's Philip Dang, even though I think that's Glock, but like Glock usually has his name as Glaucoma, not Philip Dang. So Glock, I don't know if you got two accounts and you're confusing me, but assuming that's you, Glock, he posted the same thing that you said about the beat writer. It said the Utah Jazz are getting healthier. It looks like Mike Conley will play on the second night of the back-to-back after 3 days rest. Then Craig says Saverson has his doubtful. I saw questionable. So there's conflicting reports everywhere.
I'll say this, I believe mine title, like I believe the beat writer.
I would believe the beat writer.
I'd want it to be wrong. You know why? I'd get like they're just guys in better spots. So like, but I still like it despite the news, right? But if I fall into him being out, like it's just perfect. I'm absolutely mint. Like if I have some of these guys where I can make some adjustments. So that's perfectly fine with me. Also understand too, like if you are going to make adjustments to your team, like you're probably not adjusting off LeBron. So like, don't be like, well, I'm backloaded with this utility spot. You're not backloaded with this utility spot. You're already playing LeBron James. So that's something to like think about when you're doing your lineups as well, because people then think they can make changes. And then somehow they end up at the end of the night. They're like, well, I have LeBron James to start tonight. And now I have Rudy Gobert and I don't know how that happened. So plan for LeBron in your utility spot if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to go, I trust beat writers. I'm going to go based off that. Yeah, I was right. Our boy, Philip Dang, he had to get to his other account to get the like button since, but people were lacking. Now I looked and you guys have crushed it. 196. We should get to 200 easy. We appreciate if you hit it. You guys made a push right when I said it. So we thank you for that. Hoop, I'll go to you. It's a good game. Mangone covered it really well, I think. There's a lot of options in this game, though, so talk about it on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if Conley were to miss, obviously all these guys get a boost, but I'm with you guys. It looks to me like he's going to play, and I'm going to build my teams assuming that he is in. Now, Donovan Mitchell, I think because of the slate, typically the Utah Jazz are a team that we don't like for fantasy purposes when they're close to full strength, which they are tonight. This slate is different. It's a smaller slate. there's a lot of bad like DFS type teams on the slate. So we have to come here and really start to consider some of these guys. Favorite obviously would be Donovan Mitchell. He's 9K on DK, I believe like 8-2 or something on DK or on FanDuel. Really good FanDuel play, fine DK play. Rudy Gobert is a guy I typically don't play, but with Whiteside out and his price coming in at 8-3, which I think is fair, I'm gonna be on Gobert a little bit here tonight. You know, the total's 230, spread's only 4.5, so I anticipate a close game, high scoring. Like you guys said, the pace for both these teams up. 13th for the Jazz, I believe. What do you guys say? 3rd for the Lakers. Like this should be a fast-paced game. And then on the Lakers side, I don't like the spot for Russ, but the FanDuel price tag is pretty intriguing. I mean, he's only 8.1K on FanDuel. Definitely have interest in Russell Westbrook on FanDuel. Would not pay the full price tag on DK, though, at 9.4. LeBron James obviously is a great play at 10.9. If Dwight Howard starts, 3-3 is interesting. I mean, if he starts, you know that they're going to match him up with Gobert. So when Gobert's out there, majority of the time, it's most likely going to be Dwight Howard guarding him. So I'd have some interest in Dwight if he starts, though. Problem with that is he plays center, number one. Number two, I don't know if we're going to get this news before these other games lock. This is the island game, like Title said. There's nothing else at this time or anywhere close to it. So if you're banking on playing Dwight Howard, could potentially be screwed here. And that's what makes it a little bit tricky. But yeah, overall, it's Mitchell, Gobert, and LeBron are the three guys that I'm going to kind of be focused on in this game. If we somehow get news that Mike Conley is going to be out, then yeah, it's going to bring, Ingles into play a little bit. It's going to bring Jordan Clarkson into play a little bit. Probably not going to get the news out. I personally think he plays. We'll see. But yeah, the guys for me here are Mitchell, LeBron, Gobert, and then Russ on FanDuel is fine at 8-1.
Yeah, this game and the Spurs game is definitely the two best. FanDuel keeps annoying me. I mean, they're doing the right job with Russell Westbrook and his price. Like, they're like, hey, keep playing him. Like, gosh, the guy just hasn't got there in ages, it feels like. But you're right. It's a good price tag. FanDuel, they're doing a good job with it because no one's going to click that button on DraftKings for sure. So
no.
Here's my question. Here's my question on FanDuel. Do you think – so this is my problem with them. I feel like they make guys too cheap at times, and then they don't adjust on other games where like you just feel forced to play certain guys because they don't make good pricing on everyone. They just do it on a couple spots or like some spots. And then all of a sudden you're like, why did I play Russell Westbrook? Like you're so tilted because you just feel like you had to plug in that square. So how do you guys feel about like fading that sometimes? It feels like there's guys sometimes in spots that like you don't love, but the price feels right. And then it gains a lot of ownership. Do you guys have any like strategy takes on that?
Oh, I'll fade Westy anytime he's owned right now. Like he's still above 8K. Like the guy's not 6K. I think FanDuel's doing a great job with it because, I mean, it's just like the right price. Like you're still tempting you, but he's been so bad. So at GPPs, if I know Westbrook's getting ownership, unless it's a revenge game against OKC or like, that there's something that's going to push. I mean, I'm fading it personally at high ownership in tournaments. That's how I look at it.
Do you have anything on that? Because like I guess the point I'm getting at is I think they do it in some spots well, and they do it really bad in other spots where like it kind of muddies up the slate sometimes. What do you think?
Yeah, in those situations, I mean, I think it's clear, like if you're playing like cash games and stuff, when a guy's price comes way down and the upside that he has, I'd probably play him there. But in tournaments, you got to read on the situation. Don't be afraid to fade and not like, don't go like under. I hate like when people say, oh, I'm going to go underweight on a guy. Like if you're going underweight on a guy, just fade his ass, like especially a guy that's going to be highly owned. So I'd say in cash games, you probably consider those plays, but in tournaments, just be off of them.
You took a little jab at me in my 150 in MMA. I got that little underweight tag. Some guys I can't fully fade, and
it's everyone's strategy. I mean, it really depends. Like for me, like PGA is one sport where I MME more than any. And if I realize the guy's going to be 20% owned and I'm only getting like 10, there's no reason to. MMA is a little bit different though because you just have a finite number. Like you don't have a lot of guys to choose from. Most cards there's 20 to 30 fighters. Like in MMA or in PGA, you have like 150 golfers to choose from. If a guy's going to be 20% owned, why would I only play 10%? Just be off and move on. MMA is different though, because you don't have like those other options to go to.
Can we talk about the Big T core is already set on NBA tonight for DraftKings and FanDuel? I mean,
he must have basketball tonight. He plays in a basketball league.
Oh yeah, that could be the case. But I'm surprised it's there. I mean, that's early for Big T to have that.
I would put a big chunk. I hope he's watching because he can verify this. I know Big T very well. I bet he has he has a basketball game tonight. He's training for his rematch with the man that owned him about a year ago this time. 11 months ago.
That he might have some winners then. Big T gets it up early, but I do think you're right that he does play on Mondays.
Last thing, CJ McCollum minutes limit. That's all.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, punctured long, you can't. But yeah, hey, that was all 5 games. FanDuel locks 18 minutes. Yahoo locks 18 minutes. So it's about time to get in the plays of the day, and then we'll get off so you can build those lineups. DraftKings at normal time, 5 games. Man, I'll go to you first. So was this the picture change? Was there a name change? I can't ruin whatever was said on Friday with the mojo. So what's the play of the day? I
don't know if Simon has the graphic. Maybe he does. I'm not sure, but I don't.
Sweet Travis play of the day.
So Taylor, you have to see the graphic. The key is the marshmallows with JT.
I'm about to get on YouTube. Yep. I'm about to look right now.
Yeah, you got to check it out.
Sweet Travis play
Gosh, if that graphic shows up, Mangone, I mean, just if you're playing in contest, Mangone's in, just unregister because he's going back to back. He's shipping up.
So I was gonna maybe go with like that. It's a little too off the board. Like the Jalen Smith leverage play is cool and all, but I'm not gonna go that far. I think he's a good play, but I'm gonna go with Jordan Clarkson. I noticed he's not really getting as much ownership as I thought he might get.
Oh, there it is. Sorry to interrupt you, but man, there it is.
JT, that is awesome.
What a look.
Marshmallows kill me. But
that's a $50,000 graphic right there. I mean,
60. Don't sell them short.
Sorry, $60,000 graphic. We need to get that in like an NFT form and start slinging it in the NFT streets.
Yeah, let's get some NFTs with different pictures and colors, and we'll buy tons of candy with that money. Jordan Clarkson, though, we'll go with him as the play of the day. A little revenge narrative as well, and I like these spots where, hey, if the game stays close, I think he could be the guy closing out, and if the game kind of blows out a bit, which the Jazz play their guys normal minutes, which is nice on a 5-game slate, but you can see Jordan Clarkson just literally getting bucket after bucket. So I like him here in this little revenge spot in LA. So give me Jordan Clarkson as the play of the day.
Jordan Clarkson is a Sweet Travis play of the day. I'll go to myself with the SO play of the day. I'm going to go in the same game, in the same team, actually. I'm going to go Rudy Gobert at 8.3K. And I think it makes a lot of sense for a couple of reasons. We know who the 2 plays are going to be. It's going to be JaVale McGee. It's going to be LeBron. Playing anybody else at center gets you different. I still think you can pair one of them with Rudy Gobert. But 8.3K, he came back, his first game back. He played 35 minutes, 48 DK points, 19 rebounds before he left and got hurt. Or maybe it was COVID, but I think it was COVID. Either way, though, he had 17 rebounds, 19 rebounds, 16, 14, 13, 11. I have to keep scrolling all the way down to see when he had a single-digit rebound game. He's pretty much a walking double-double. I like it even more. Westbrook's going to be out there clanking shots, giving Rudy Gobert easy rebounds. Dwight Howard's in the post, but they do like playing LeBron at the 5. So if he plays 35 minutes, are the Lakers just going to abandon LeBron at the 5 forever? It'll be interesting, but Gobert is going to cause them problems. So Rudy Gobert going to be lower owned just because of the position. Think he makes a lot of sense in that late game. So he's going to be the SO play of the day. Hoop, cap it off for us. The Rich Parents play of the day. Bring that little PGA heater in the NBA right here. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's a tough slate to find something like super contrarian. I want something, like I said, in that Suns Spurs game. I'm going to go Keldon Johnson as the Rich Parents play of the day. Back to playing solid minutes, 30, 33 in the last couple of games. I just think they're going to need him on the court. Jay Crowder, Bridges, Cam Johnson. He matches up good with those guys. So I think he sees his full complement of minutes here. I think we get a competitive game, almost a 230 total. Keldon Johnson, Rich Parents play of the day.
I like it. Keldon Johnson, Rich Parents play of the day. Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gobert. 5 games, 6 games, FanDuel and Yahoo's. That's why this show, we got through it.
Real quick, though, Matthew Hawkins in the chat, he said, is there any of you can compete with title on the hardwood? I will say this, okay, I would put up a much, much better fight than Big T did. I mean, Big T embarrassed himself. That was a disaster. Hoop would put up a much, much better fight. I haven't been playing a ton of basketball. If there was a matchup, I believe that, Title's a lot younger than me. He's in, not better shape, but he can still move probably a little bit better than Hoop. If I put in the time, I feel confident that I could beat Title on the hardwood. So as it stands now, I'm not saying that I would beat Title, but if I had a month to work at it, Hoop would be live to beat Title. And regardless of anything, much better fight than what Big T put on a year ago.
Hey, is that going to be our second booking in March? That's over a month. Do you want it? The official agreement right now? I'm asking. I mean, we can, and if you want, what
are you going to do? Are you Big T locked in?
Oh yeah, Big T and I locked in for the 10K. It's going to be in March too. If you want money, if you want to do 10K, I'll do that too. If you want to do a different incentive, you can think. But I am down to hammer in our March Madness. I'll get Big T. I'll get you.
Yeah, I think I want in. I gotta see where my game's at. Like I said, I haven't played. I think I want in. I gotta find a spot where I can get some competitive games in. I can't just come in there, raw.
To be fair, Hoop did lead with you are currently better, but I might be better by March. So I'll give him at least that credit. Yeah. So
I give credit where credit's due. But I'll tell you what, I'm a defensive guy and I play dirty. So I don't want you to, you scratched my armor. I do play dirty. I grab shirts. If you're going for a layup and I'm beat, I'm gonna take your ass down to the ground. Just so you know, that's how I play. I use my fouls.
Title hugged Big T down in the post when he knew he was done.
Yeah, that's the shit I do.
Strategy, but I was very tilted on the Big T side, trying to get every bucket I could because I knew I was in trouble.
If you're cool with that style of play, I'm just telling you, that is how I play.
So I got to prepare to risk injury and risk being in the ER.
No, I'll make sure you don't get hurt. Okay, I shouldn't have said I'll take you to the ground, but if you have me beat, I'm gonna wrap you up and we're gonna take it back up top and go from there.
I mean, I can't say no to a basketball match. I definitely try. You'll put up a better. I mean, you have to put up a better fight than Big T. And I'm going to make sure we're not doing this after a bender anymore.
It's got to be day one or day two. It's got to be right out of the gate.
It's got to be day one.
Yeah. If we get to Big T's on Friday, it's either got to be Friday or probably Saturday morning. One night of partying and then play. It can't be four nights of partying and then basketball. That doesn't work.
No. I was dying out there. Big T was dying, and you could tell I was definitely dying too. But a lot of fun. Hoop and all these. Uncle T did a great job on his Twitter. We're gonna get it again. Big T and I are playing. That's locked in. Hoop and I sounds like it. Hey, I got to thank you first, Matthew Hawkins. Thanks for bringing that up because Hoop bucks or Hoop incentives or stuff. I love getting on the good side of that. So Matthew Hawkins, thanks for the free win over here. Hoop. I'm giving you motivation. You better be practicing and working.
Hey, here's the thing. I mean, I'm in the gym. I'm in good shape. It's just a matter of,
I believe you.
Basketball shape is different than gym shape. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I run, I lift. Basketball shape is totally different than anything else. You can be in the best shape of your life. You get on the basketball court, it is 100%. It takes a couple weeks, a couple weeks of playing solid basketball to get your basketball stamina, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, back.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But there's levels to basketball in general. There's levels to the skill gap hoops. So you gotta be working on the skills, and what did Big T say in chat before you get out here? I'm gonna put up a better fight, but also gonna wrap you up.
No. I said if I happen to, I'm not giving. It's taking my words out of context. If I get beat, you're not getting an easy layup. That's all I'm saying. If you happen to go past me and I have the ability to follow you, you're gonna get fouled. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm gonna get beat every time. If you happen to beat me and you have an easy shot, there's not gonna be an easy bucket. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, people in chat hey, Big T watches the whole time. You'll never see him in chat. Once you get a conversation like this going, Big T will definitely pop up out of the chat.
Once again, Big T pops in and takes someone's words out of context. Imagine that. I didn't say that. I said, if I get beat, you're getting fouled. That's all. As long as you're good with that, let's roll.
But I do want to say is I want to be on Big T's side. So I am cheering for you to have a huge night tonight, Big T. I want to be able to bet against Title. We'll see if I do.
You can right here. Name the
I'm
price.
Not ready to.
Yeah, take Big T. You can take Big T. I got Title. You want to bet on Big T?
Just like Hoop. I'm not ready to, but I think there's a chance I might. So I'm going to do the Hoop there and say that. Right now, I'm feeling confidence, but I might in a month. I might in 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be March, but I'm currently just sitting on the sidelines, but I want to be on Big T's side. I'm hoping he gets the job done and drops like 40 buckets tonight.
Yeah, Craig I made the mistake. I made the mistake last time because I was initially on Title. I said Title's going to beat Big T, but I thought the rule with the 3 dribble thing would work against Title, and really it was a big benefit for him.
You didn't trust me.
But I don't think, I mean, based on what I saw, it wouldn't matter. They could have played any sort of rule, and Title was winning that game.
Big T said I would bet 6 figures on myself against Hoop. So we got lots of.
I mean, if that's
you
legit,
said it.
I'm definitely interested in that for sure.
Ooh, there we go. All right.
If he's being serious, like, yes, I am very interested in a 6-figure bet, me versus Big T. Like, same rules that Title and Big T played on. Big T is in big trouble against me.
Big T said it. Who pretty much said, "Hey, we're gonna get that." I'm gonna make sure that's figured out. But
yeah, if that's an official offering, I am.
You say yes right now.
I'm very interested in that. If the rules are the same,
That's what Big T and I. He said rules are the same for us. That'd be the same rules too. Yeah. You can't just take Big T. You can't just dribble the ball 20 times and you're tired. Back me down to the basket. That's why I did the rule. That a lot of people, I think, understood too, but that's also just how you grow up. You can't waste dribbles as a basketball player. If you're a coach, you have kids out there, 3 dribble max, offense or defense to offense. If you get a score, you stay in offense. Defense, you get a stop, you go to offense. That's a drill I grew up with. It's a drill I'll take to my grave with my kids too. 3 dribble max is how you play it. I need
to get Title up here to coach with me on the week. I need Title to work with my teams. I got 2 squads right now. I got a girls team and a co-ed team. I could use a week of Title coaching.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of coaching in my future for sure. So I might
special assistant coach Title. Let's go, kids! Come on.
Hey, yeah, we'll fight. We'll figure that out. But yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out on the show. I'm excited to hear Big T and Hoop. We might get a little 6-figure. People are talking, Craig, about live streaming stuff. Yeah, we'll Periscope it when the time comes. You'll hear a lot about it. Uncle T did a great job, but I got to get my FanDuel and Yahoo lineups in. I know you guys probably do too. All the content up on the site. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. That's going to do it though. For Hoop, for Mangone, Simon Behind the Sticks. I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.